Hey, I'm Sean Collins.
I'm Stephen Barry.
And this is We Feed Them, a podcast about the people and stories that shape the food industry. Thank you for all the support so far. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You should be able to find us almost anywhere, like We Feed Them Pod or We Feed Them or We Feed Them Podcast. But if you have trouble finding us, go to wefeedthem.com, and links to everything that we do is right there. And keep sharing, keep liking, keep commenting. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we'd love to hear what you guys say in the comments. Definitely read through those, and we provide some feedback.
Talk shit.
Yeah, please talk shit. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Anyway, how was your week been?
Man, I don't even know. Today was a day.
Yeah.
Today was really one of those where I don't even know what I'm doing, man. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah, I have those moments too.
I thought about like closing this place today and just being like, just fuck it. I don't know why I'm doing this.
And then what?
I don't know. We got to pay a loan off, so I'm trapped. But
yeah,
it was just little shit too. It was just adding up. Like I could tell the opener was feeling distraught, and it was kind of because the closer. It's all snowballed, man. I'll tell you, I was here with some friends on a shift that I don't work, and I was drinking with them, just entertaining. And they spent some money. You know, they spent good money, and that's not why I was entertaining them. It was just like good to see them, and I was hanging out, having some drinks.
Yeah. And
we started to get kind of busy later than usual, and like the bartender asked me if I would close for her, and I said no. Though I will say she was doing an unexpected double. She wasn't even supposed to work that day. She was doing an unexpected double. So I understand, and maybe that's some of my responsibility too, but
yeah, that's asking
the
a lot
answer
of a
was
person.
still no, because
yeah, it's your day
I'm
off.
Drinking,
yeah,
it's my day off, and you're getting money. I mean, like there's tables here, you're getting money. I know you are, and so that was my thought. That was just the bottom line. It was like I just said no. I think I said I'm sorry because probably I should, but I've had too much to drink, and I'm not trying to stay in clothes. I'm just gonna be honest. And then like we had 2 or 3 parties come in, and one of the cooks texted me while I was out here and said, "Do you want to help me with this order?" And I just said, "No, I don't want to help you with these orders because you're good at this, and our dishwasher is pretty well cross-trained and can help you cook." And that's almost one of the reasons that he's here tonight. And so I could tell that they were kind of pissed off at me about it. And then I walked into the kitchen and I was like, "I'm leaving." And I said to the dishwasher, "Hey, are you going to help him out?" And he was like, "I thought you were going to help him." And I was like, "I'm not working, dude. I'm here entertaining and just drinking and having a good time. I'm not working." And so the whole crew asked me, the whole crew might have been frustrated with me. It felt like they were. I felt guilty leaving, but I was like, it just is what it is. I don't know. And so it sort of felt like they did a close, the fuck my boss type of close. And then the guy that opened today, who was the person who received that fuck my boss close, was kind of frustrated. He didn't say that, but I sensed it. And like they didn't do the silverware, like they didn't wash the silverware type shit. You know, they didn't like flip a couple pans, just little things. And then when I came in, I could feel that pressure, and there seemed to be something personal happening with one of my dishwashers. And then I had CO2 delivered today, but they sent me a mixer. It was like a 75% nitrogen, 25% CO2. I can't use it. It was a mix. It was a blend. So I was like, I called them. They closed at 4:30. I called them at 4:45, and I was like, "You guys sent me the wrong shit. I'm out of gas. I need it." Well, I'm out of gas because I had a tank with a little bit in it, but they took it to replace it, which is fine, except they didn't give me any fucking gas, you know?
Right.
And they were like, "Oh, sorry, you can replace it." And they're cool. So I go to replace it. I come back. I hook it up. You know, it's for the not the beer. It's for the Coke. It starts honking like a horn, you know. Whenever everything's recharged, good to go. And then I hear it's still going. It's leaking. Like half the tank is empty.
Oh, no.
Though it's probably just because the pressure is off. So it's leaking, and now there's this huge leak. So we can't serve Coca-Cola anyways. And so that pisses me off. And then the damn fry cutter suction cups broke off, and I don't have replacement piece. And while I'm looking for the replacement piece, I pulled the drawer out and it came all the way out.
Oh my
and
God.
dropped all of the utensils on the floor. And then and at the same time, the bartender came back and was like, can somebody get me a mop? Somebody spilled something. She was like, yeah, dude. And then we got busy. That's actually the good part. I'm happy for that part, but I wasn't even ready. You know, there was a recipe that they didn't do during prep because I didn't have cilantro. And when I came in, I was like, we need it so bad. I would rather have it without cilantro than just not have it at all. So I just made it without cilantro, and I'm trying to rush around and like, we're running out of fries, but the fucking fry cutter's broke. And I feel like something else happened where I was just like, dude, forget this shit. I'm done. But I kept cooking. I kept my head up, and I might have had an early beer.
Oh no.
Like usually I have a beer an hour before it closed, but I think this one was like, I'm drinking a beer right now, dude. Fuck this.
It's a slippery slope, my friend.
Yeah. Sorry, you asked how the week was, and I just gave you a long story about how shitty my day was. But overall, it's actually good.
There's more shit that happened in this day than most people's weeks, I feel. So
Well, yeah. I mean, really, you put it all together, it's silly that stuff would even frustrate you. But I was really starting to feel it. I remember when the drawer hit the ground, I had this rush of like I didn't do that. I just went, well, shit happens. I think that's what I said out loud. Oh, shit happens. Oh, well, let's clean it up. But in my head, I was like, God dang it, dude. I'm so done with this.
Yeah.
How was your week?
I mean, it's been better than that, I suppose.
Cool.
The big boss was in today, and it wasn't a great visit. So
Why?
Well, there was another local restaurant owner in dining. I'll tell you about it later off camera.
All right.
But basically kind of pointed a couple things out to him. I guess the Louisiana bottle was filthy, and things like the salt and pepper shakers weren't filled or something. And I guess it was an embarrassing experience for my boss. So he kind of already started off on the wrong foot, but he was kind of grilling me about things that weren't necessarily my fault, but still, like, I guess tangentially, because I'm part of the management
I
team.
hate when you use words that I don't know, dude.
Oh,
Tangentially?
tangentially.
No, I don't actually hate it. I like it because I learned from it.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Take it out of context.
This is gonna be my
It means
thing.
by association. It sounds like.
Yeah, Yeah, it means by association. Yes.
Fact check it.
I guess, but like I'm saying, because I'm a part of the management team, I guess we're all for one and one for all, you know. But it still kind of irks me when he's asking me, why didn't these things get done on Monday? I'm like, I wasn't here on Monday. I couldn't tell you why. He's like, oh, I'm just tired of you guys always saying shit like that. You know, it's like, well, I get your frustration, dude. I can completely understand if I were in your position. You tell somebody something 3 times and it's still, you come in to visit and it's still not done. You know, I mean, it's partially a failure, but luckily my boss was there today as well. And I think there was some good conversation that was had, and I feel good about the way that things are going to be moving forward, but it was just a pretty frustrating day.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of caps off a couple of frustrating days for me. So yeah, it's been a bit of a week, but it's not been too bad.
Sometimes in my position here, I am basically the top of the management chain. I mean, you know, I have a partner, and I have a partner he's my boss, but his personality is not like that. You know, he's very like, whatever you think, dude, you know,
Right.
I trust you. And so it's always on me, really, as far as operations go. And sometimes I kind of wish that I could be like, we have to do this because corporate said so or whatever. You know what I mean? I wish I could pass the buck a little bit, because I feel like it almost make me better as a manager, because sometimes I get a little bashful. Sometimes I'm just kind of afraid to put my foot down.
Yeah, or, you know, you kind of rationalize things in your head that maybe shouldn't necessarily be rationalized, you know, but you're like, oh, Kate's just having a hard time today, you know?
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost set out to do that, which I don't really know if it's good, and I'm back and forth with it, but I almost set out to try to find, like, how can we connect on a personal level as a team that makes this job more valuable in a way, you know, where you're less likely to walk out on me, I guess.
Yeah.
Or you feel more human because of how we treat each other. But that sort of results in bad discipline.
I think there's a balance to be had because I personally don't consider anybody who's technically my subordinate a friend at this point. I mean, I'm cool with them all. So don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't like anybody, but I'm not like going out having beers with these people, or I'm not overly invested in their family lives and their lives outside of work, because I feel like that kind of muddies the waters. And maybe you have somebody that's terrible that needs to be fired, and you're sitting there thinking about, what about Denise, his wife? And you all of his kids and stuff. You're like, oh man, I can't do that to Jack or whatever. But Jack fucking sucks, you know?
Yeah, but then like Jack's kid is friends with your kid, and that type of stuff does happen for me here. But I don't know. What's the right move? I don't know. I think that any management style sort of finds its people, and it might take a minute, and it might kind of wash out. You know what I'm saying? My management style I might end up losing people that are highly disciplined workers because they're frustrated that I'm not disciplining very well. Or I lose my mind a little bit because I'm frustrated that I'm not disciplining well. But a really well-disciplined manager might lose somebody would be extremely loyal because maybe they're not feeling valued, like their family's not valued. It's literally only their labor that matters, but they're more important than that.
Right.
So, but it'll, you know, eventually you'll find your people, like whatever your style is. So I think that you just got to kind of stick with it. I don't know, dude.
Like I said, I think that there's a balance to be had no matter what. You kind of have to balance, you know, that these are people that have emotions and personal needs, but also you're running a business, and in the matter of fact of the business, none of that shit matters. So you got to try to strike the balance in between that to be fair and like caring to these people as humans, but also doing what's right for the business.
Yeah. I think there's going to be an experiment with this podcast and us on that a little bit, because this will, we hope to sort of become a business in its own. And even though we're not making money right now, it does feel like, I mean, we have a schedule, we have expectations of one another, and we have roles to play. And
this is, to me, it's work, but
it feels
it's
like
work that I enjoy.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see, like, when's that day gonna come that I'm like, ooh, da da da, and you'll be like, da da da, da da da. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, da da da, and you go doo 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 or whatever.
The podcast breaks up for over some bullshit, and we got to start new podcasts.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's an interesting point that you bring up, though, because I don't know. I'm pretty strict in my management style because I demand a lot of myself, and therefore, I think I demand a lot of the people that work for me. However, my boss, I'm currently in a middle management position, and my boss is very carefree and just, I think a lot of times puts people over the business, and he's got to be doing something right because we're busy as shit, and he's been successful for a long time.
Well, maybe he has the expectation that you'll tighten up where you need to tighten up so that he doesn't have to.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's,
because he tightened up on you when he felt like he needed to.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, I don't know. I think that he's smart enough to know that he needs people like me around to get shit done. And yeah, I don't know. I think that if you're a very nice and affable boss that, you know, just treats everybody like a friend, then maybe you need an asshole hanging around that isn't afraid to speak up and tell people when shit's fucked up, and vice versa. Maybe if you're very strong-fisted and just very matter-of-fact and blunt, maybe you need somebody around that's a little bit more empathetic.
Yeah, I think so. I need an asshole. I think.
I'll come
It's
in.
funny because
I'll be your
to,
asshole.
Yeah. It's funny because I used to be like an assistant kitchen manager in a kitchen where the boss was really lenient, and under his breath and sort of behind closed doors, he would sort of confide in me and be like, "Oh, I don't like that this is taking place and this is taking place," and I would be like, "Why don't you say something about it?" And I don't remember his response, but I remember that the feeling was just kind of what I feel now. I'm just like, they've been here for 8 years. Like, they really are a good person and like that type of stuff. But I remember when I was just his line cook and I was trying to be promoted to be like his sidekick.
Right.
My campaign was, "Let me be your asshole." And I was like, "Well, just let me be your asshole. I don't mind. I was young and I think I did really well in that role, but I wasn't really an asshole. I did tighten up. I think looking back now, that's not even how I am now. Like that, I've evolved away from that. Well, I don't know if it's evolved. I may have devolved from that. Because I look back, back then I didn't have a family. I had nothing to go home to, and
Right.
it wasn't a depression thing. It was just, I'm just saying there was nothing for me to go home to. It was just focused on that job. And so I felt really comfortable acting like, do it or go. Just do it or go. And if you're not going to do it, I don't really have a problem. I'll do it for you, and I'll find someone that'll do it after that. And you know what I'm saying? But now I feel a lot different. Now I feel like, well, I really, really can't work on Wednesday morning or Thursday morning, and there's a soccer game and practices every Sunday. Well, there's no soccer, but there's a practice every Sunday, and I really need you guys to rally around. We really need to rally around each other. So please step up. Please. Like, that's what I feel like now. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's different.
Well, do your people respond to that?
I think fairly well. I mean, some of them, yeah, I think so. But I think that I give the same back. I mean, I can't think of a specific example, but I know that if there's like an important date that a parent who works for me needs, and it's not a date that I need, then I'll cover them so they can make it happen. Like that type of stuff. And just last week I ran to go pick up one of my cooks. He thought that he didn't have a ride for his kid to get picked up from school, so I went to pick him up from school. And when I got there, his grandma already got him. But I was like, the intent was there. I was gonna do it, So I think that there's some respect back and forth for that. But I don't know. I still wish I had a little more discipline projecting out of me, because I think that a good amount of discipline helps everybody be better. Like today, just feeling that the team was frustrated because the last team was frustrated, and it just snowballed into this. I just felt like this wouldn't have happened if I made sure that they did their job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, how about we get into a chopping block segment, which is what we're calling brackets now. The
Chopping block.
The chopping block. We have to start coming up with theme songs.
Fuck those theme songs, man. That's more editing nightmare. I'm over that. I'm not adding any more edits.
No, I mean, just for me to sing every time.
Go ahead.
I'll have a kazoo.
Chop block. Chop block. There's a chopping block.
The chopping block, right? Chopping block.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's going to
So
be
the chopping block is just it's just like a tournament bracket of a certain theme.
Essentially, yeah. And I throw out two things. You tell me which thing you like more. Maybe we can debate it a little bit, and then we'll decide which one moves on to the next round. And at the end of the process, we'll figure out what is the best of the things.
Yep.
So
we had a conversation about our segments, and I think that we've got some good ones solidified. We're just doing this one in this episode, right?
Yep. This is
I was really excited about the bow tie awards. I feel like that's going to be fun.
Yeah. But I feel like that's gonna take some planning. But
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so at all. I feel like they'll come right off the cuff.
Huh.
You'll have to think of, we're not going to give too much away. The bow tie awards, stay tuned, because I think that that's going to be one.
Yeah.
And I really think it'll be simple. I'll explain later how I think so.
Okay.
The chopping block. Boom.
The chopping block today is cocktails.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
Margarita or a cosmopolitan?
Oh, wow. Two really sweet margarita or two really sweet
Well,
cocktails.
I don't think that margaritas are super sweet. Cosmos
They're pretty
obviously are.
sugary, dude.
Yeah, they can
I
be.
mean, obviously there's a lot of lime, so it's like it's bitter, but well, Cosmopolitan has juice in it. It's also a bitter juice.
Right.
They're both very sweet, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think a margarita has more versatility. Margarita.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's any real debate there for me. Old fashioned or a tequila sunrise?
Old fashioned.
Yeah, that's the old fashioned is going to go far on this one.
I think so.
Yeah, that's definitely a top tier cocktail in my opinion.
I love old fashions. It's probably one of the only cocktails I make at home.
All right, we got a Mai Tai or a Manhattan?
Ooh. Well, a Manhattan, but I would do a Mai Tai.
In a certain instance, maybe?
Yeah, like
It's hot
I
outside.
feel like I might order a Mai Tai right now, but I'm more likely to order a Manhattan long term.
Mai Tais are great. Yeah. Man. Yeah, I would probably agree with you in that sense, but Mai Tai is one of my favorite rum cocktails. I'm not super into rum. By the way, I don't drink a whole lot these days, but obviously have been a bartender and bar manager, and
Yeah.
I've had my days in cocktails, but I've had my days lost in cocktails. Espresso Martini or a daiquiri?
What's a daiquiri?
That would be rum, yeah, lime juice in there, and simple syrup.
What was the other one?
Espresso
Oh,
Martini.
espresso martini. Is that dairy free?
I mean, it would have to be for you.
I don't think I've had an espresso martini. I would guess that it could be dairy free, right? I mean, a
Yeah.
martini is so simple.
Yeah,
Every time I make a martini, I think, did I
If
fucking do this right?
anytime I've done an espresso martini is basically, yeah, the way that I do it is vodka,
The espresso vodka, like, don't they sell?
or I
Oh.
just do espresso, or I've done it with cold brew coffee before, and then you want to get some kind of coffee liqueur in there. I think those are like the fundamentals, and then probably a simple syrup
Just
too.
shake the piss out of it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I like in a martini. To me, I think that it should be shaken to like
see that's a great debate because traditionally a martini is stirred, and I think there are even some purists that would argue that a shaken martini is almost sacrilegious.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like the tiny little ice
But-
crystals on the first couple sips of a martini. If you shake the shit out of it.
See, also, I think the same purist would argue that you should strain out every little bit of ice that you can from a cocktail.
But I'm talking about just the like, I mean, you strain it well, but I'm saying like just the, I mean, you wouldn't go through a mesh strainer in
Right.
my martini.
Okay.
You would probably use like the margarita topper
Yeah.
pour it out
Hawthorne strainer.
with a spoon. Sure, Hawthorne strainer.
Yeah. Or whatever it is.
I don't know what it is.
Um,
I like the little, just a little like, oh, is there a fucking, did I get a little something? I like that. Espresso martini.
yeah, so far we're pretty.
But for real, every time I made a martini, I've really doubted myself.
Why's that?
It just doesn't make sense. This is the cocktail. This is it.
Yeah, martini is, I mean, in essence, really just
It's vermouth,
a chilled liquor and vermouth.
and the vermouth you toss out.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
You ice the glass. Tell me if I'm doing it right, because I've done some bartending, but I'm not very well experienced. But if somebody ordered a martini, I would ask gin or vodka, and then go from there. I think gin is the original.
yes.
I would ice the martini glass and put some, I would ice the martini glass and let it sit. And then I would put the spirit of choice on ice and let it sit for a second and then go back to the martini glass, dump it out and then put the vermouth in there, wash it around, dump it out, and then go back to the shaker and then I would shake the fuck out of it. Like, this arm gets tired, switch it, set it down. What the fuck am I doing with my life? And then go back to it. I mean, I shake it like way too far. probably watering the shit out of it. Anyways, then put it in that glass. And if it's dirty, I throw a fucking olive in it. If it's actually dirty, I pour the olive juice in it. Is that a martini?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's crazy. It's just fucking liquor.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty much what a martini is. It's just chilled liquor. Yeah.
With the breath of vermouth.
Yeah, vermouth is debatable, but I agree with you in that it should just be a rinse or a very small amount going in. And a dirty martini typically, from what I've surmised, doesn't have vermouth.
Oh.
So
I thought it was just adding olive.
You should replace that vermouth with olive juice and olives. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of dirty martinis. I just don't like olives very much.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I hate them.
So.
Well, that's why I confuse it. When every time I make that cocktail, I just go, this doesn't make fucking sense. It's chilled gin or vodka.
That's what somebody's asking for.
And we've gotten like, well, I mean, dude, I remember serving here one time and a guy was like, can you make good martini? And I was like, I think that I know how to make it, but it doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know if it's good. But anyways, I made it and the guy was like, young man, thank you. And I made him like 3 or 4 and I was like, I don't know, dude. I'm so confused. This doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah. All right. This one's going to be a tough one for me. I'll say that.
All right.
Gin fizz or a Sazerac?
Oh, God. I don't think I know these cocktails. I think I've been with you and you've ordered a gin fizz somewhere because you were really into gin for a minute.
Yeah.
Like you were interested in the craft of gin. You weren't like...
Yeah. Gin fizz is lemon juice, simple syrup, typically an egg white, and... on
top?
I believe soda water topped. Yeah. Well, I mean, you shake the egg white in with it.
Oh.
No.
What's the other one?
Sazerac.
So I don't know what's in the Sazerac.
That's kind of like I guess it's I think it's like a New Orleans twist on a old fashioned. We're going to sound so stupid to like bartenders.
Well, I don't care.
But
we feed them, not...
we don't drink them.
Wait a minute.
I know it's got to have pasteurized bitters in it. That's like a hallmark of a Sazerac.
It's whiskey?
It's kind of like it's rye. It's rye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sazerac me. I think I would like both. Well,
if you haven't had a Sazerac, I think you should order one the next time you're out of the place.
I think that I would like a gin fizz too.
Yeah. I love a gin fizz.
I think both of those sound good.
I would probably go gin fizz over Sazerac, but it's close to me. And I think, like I said, next time you're out somewhere that has nice cocktails, try ordering a Sazerac.
Because I'm going to have to go up against something with a cocktail I haven't had. I feel like you should go make me one.
Right now?
No.
Okay. Gin martini or a lemon drop?
Oh, I love a lemon drop, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, I don't know how exactly it's supposed to be made, but I remember the first time someone made a lemon drop, it was in the form of a shot. I don't know if it's supposed to be a shot or in a martini glass. I think people order it both ways. I think. But I was like, well, what's a lemon drop? And they just gave me, they're like, here, there's a shot left. And I was like, whoa, that's a lemon head.
Yeah.
And it tasted exactly like lemon head candy, and it blew my mind. I loved it.
Yeah, they are the same as far as I can tell.
It's just lemon, sugar, and spirits, right?
Essentially, yeah.
You're just getting the right blend. It's like making lemonade.
Yeah, a gin martini to me, I'll be honest, you said earlier that I got really into gin, and I was drinking a lot of gin. I think I kind of had a love affair with gin for a bit, but I've never really liked gin straight.
Oh.
I like it in cocktails. Like, to me, there's something magical about a gin and tonic and lime, because for some reason, even a gin and tonic without lime, it just tastes weird and
Gin is cool.
But once you squirt that lime in there, it's like some kind of magic happened. Do you know what I mean?
I think that, what's the green gin? I'm looking at the bar.
You're talking about Tanqueray?
I think Tanqueray has a Tanqueray lime. You ever had it? Just like a Tanqueray lime bottle.
I don't think so.
I would wonder how good that is to somebody that... Because, we used to have somebody that would drink here, and
I know
they loved... I don't remember which gin it was, but they loved gin and like a lot of lime.
Yeah.
That was it on the rocks.
I was going to say, I know that Citadel does a citrus as well that's really good. But yeah, gin is just, it's an interesting spirit to me. Like you
Oh
said.
yeah. The first gin I ever had was Hendrix. And I was like, whoa. I remember exactly where I was. And I said, I don't know much about gin. The bartender was like, it was after my shift. And the bartender said, well, just here, you got to try it. And I think that they chose Hendrix. I said, if you're going to try gin, I would recommend this because it takes you, like, it gives you the extreme. Because isn't it a little more, like, aromatic than?
Yeah, Hendrix is fairly junipery. But I think it's just, Hendrix is a good, like, standard go-to gin.
It is good, though. I really do like, I've always leaned towards whiskey. There was a while there that I was into rum. The taste of rum is great, but I think man, rum might be one of those spirits that's best to cook with. It's just, there's something special about rum to me. I think the sweetness of it, the caramelized sweetness of it. But I've always been attracted to whiskeys because of the process and the time and work that's put into it. But yeah, gin has this whole other story to it. It's like, I love junipers, and it really kind of comes through.
Right.
The juniper, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, some other spirits, it might be made of corn. You're not like, oh, this tastes like street corn. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? Bourbon, I think, has to be like 51% corn. And it doesn't really stand out as a fucking corn spirit. Or like Ciroc, it doesn't stand out as that is made with grapes. But
I think that flavor-wise, if I'm just going to drink any spirit straight, it'd probably be bourbon.
yeah,
It might just be the Midwesterner.
I
in
think
me.
I might go closer to Scotch.
Cer-
Just because it's
certain
more intended.
scotches. Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. I can see that. But I don't know. Sometimes Scotch gets a little like peaty for me, you know?
Yeah,
don't
I like that though.
I don't like super smoky scotches.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I like some Glenlivet, you know, that's.
Yeah. Yep. Those are like, well, I like the whole spectrum for Scotch. I like the Lafroig, which is where it's just in the peat moss. It feels like you're chewing it, you know? You get into like the Glenlivets or really, my favorite Scotch is probably just Johnny Walker Black typically. I mean, I think the red is good, and I've had blue. Embarrassingly, did not really think that blue tasted much better than black. I thought it was pretty similar, but
I've actually heard that about Johnny Walker from more people.
well, the price difference is so dramatic. You would think that it would be quite a bit different.
Right.
But I love Johnny Walker, and it's a blended Scotch whiskey. And I understand some people might think like you really should only have a single malt, but there's just, the blend is so good to me. I love it. I love that little touch of smoke, and I don't think there's any peat moss in any of their blends, but I almost sense it a little bit. And maybe it's just the smokiness.
Yeah, I don't think Johnny Walker's bad. I think my go-tos would be Glenlivet and Macallan. I think are.
Those are good.
Yeah. So next up we got Mojito or Negroni.
I'll go for a mojito. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Negronis are a little bit bitter for me. But I mean, that's a tough one for me almost because I don't really care for either of them.
Yeah. If this was the cocktail list, I don't think I would start with either. I wouldn't drink those two.
Right.
Well, I don't know, dude. I might throw a mojito in there. Depends on where I am.
Yeah. It's a good summer drink.
I'd have to get like really sauced up and be on a beach and be like, give me that mojito. Like, I feel like that's how you'd be ordering a mojito. You're not like, that's not where you're starting with.
So it's almost similar to a Mai Tai in that,
Yeah.
you know, it's very,
Somebody put on some Kenny Chesney, baby. Let's go.
yeah, specific circumstance for that. But we got next up, whiskey sour or a Paloma.
Oh, I hate Palomas.
Yeah.
I'll take a whiskey sour. And I
Not
really
big on
don't have
grapefruit.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't mind grapefruit flavored things. I really don't like grapefruit, and Paloma is grapefruit flavored in a sense, and it's I can't. Dude, the first time I ordered it, I thought, no way, no way, and I was afraid. I didn't even finish it. I think I had to make me something else. I didn't even tell them. I was embarrassed, you know. I just like dumped it out somewhere, and then I said something to somebody separately, and they were like, "Yeah, no, they do a good one here." I was like, "Wow, that sucked." You
Yeah.
like it?
Well, I don't know. I like grapefruit soda. I'm not huge. I remember the first time I had grapefruit juice and I didn't know about it. You know what I mean? I just bought it in the store randomly. I don't know. I was younger in my early 20s and I was like, oh, this looks refreshing. You know, take it home and I pour a big glass and I take a drink and I'm just like, what the fuck is that? You know, you're thinking it's like pink lemonade or something from the look of it, you know, and you taste it, it's all bitter and shit.
You ever had a grapefruit?
No, I've never.
Oh my gosh, dude! Get a grapefruit.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Well, I mean, I've had grapefruit juice, so I can imagine.
Yeah,
but I think that steered me away from grapefruit in
Yeah.
general. I was like, I'm not fucking. Why would I eat a grapefruit?
I think I had a teacher eating a grapefruit one time, and he was like, "You want some?" Somebody was asking about it. He was like, "Yeah, you guys want to try some? It's grapefruit." And I was like, "What the, bro? Something was wrong with that. Grapefruit tastes like you should." Tell them, hey, something is wrong with what you just gave me. Because you try to be polite when somebody gives you something gross. Grapefruit tastes like, hey, polite aside, I need to let you know something. That food you just gave me is really, something's wrong with it.
It's a good prank to pull on if you have a child around, have some grapefruit juice in the fridge and they ask for juice. You're like, oh, are you sure? Are you sure?
I got some just this year and just to try it again. And I was like, nope, that sucks. But I gave some to my daughter and she... I think she was okay with it, but didn't love it. But yeah, I can't get over the you ever had those long drinks, those gin? It's like gin and grapefruit. It tastes like hard Fresca, basically. I think a long drink is it's a mixed drink, but there's a company selling them here in those blue cans.
I've never had that.
I think you should, if you are looking to grab something to drink, they sell them in 4-packs. I would get them, the blue one, because I think they have like a light and a flavored one. Just get the regular original long drink in a light blue can. It's actually pretty nice. If you like Fresca.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Fresca.
Yeah. It's not too grapefruity.
All right. So that brings us back around. We got margarita versus an old fashioned.
Old fashioned.
Old fashioned all day?
Yeah.
Man, that one's debatable, I think. Oh, well.
Those are two.
Like I said, not to me because, I mean, bourbon's my shit, you know, but yeah, it's, I could see somebody putting up a pretty strong argument for the margarita. That's, yeah.
Not here, though.
Well, should I just, for sake of debate?
Nah. I think a margarita is great. It speaks for itself. A margarita is probably one of the top selling cocktails in America. I would bet that it might be the top selling cocktail in America, besides like just a mixed drink, maybe, you know, like rum and cokes or whatever. A margarita is fantastic. It really is. But I don't know, man. Like you can get a margarita and it's like diluted, you know, so you can enjoy this big margarita and enjoy it the whole time. And an old fashioned is concentrated, you know, it's almost straight spirits. Almost, not quite.
Well, an old fashioned to me it's an experience in and of itself, especially if you have the big ice cube, you know, and it just kind of slowly melts, and you get to sit there and stir it, and every sip tastes a little different. Like it's very bourbon heavy at first, and by the time you get to the end, it's more diluted and just smooth. And I
love an old fashioned.
Like I said,
I love a margarita.
Huge.
Those are probably the top two.
Yeah, I've would have to probably agree with you, man.
But we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Then we got Manhattan or Espresso Martini.
Well, I really can't see myself ordering an Espresso Martini.
Yeah.
But I'm 100% going to get an old fashioned over a Manhattan.
So that's where we're going to go with it then. Because, I mean, the Manhattan beats out the Espresso Martini, right? You'd say?
You decide on this one, man.
What would I say?
I think an Espresso Martini, it's really, we've incorporated caffeine, and that's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
I love the taste of coffee.
Yeah, I do too.
Man, this is a tough one for me, honestly.
Let's give Espresso Martini a shakedown.
Yeah, throw it in there.
Do you think that would you give Manhattan a chance against an old fashioned?
No, I wouldn't. It would be old fashioned for me all day.
Yeah. Well, I think an Espresso Martini in 5 minutes might have a chance. Probably not.
Against an old fashioned?
No, probably not.
Yeah. All right, the Sazerac, which you've apparently never had.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do an old fashioned versus an old fashioned. We're just gonna call it an old fashioned.
Oh, what do you
So
mean?
old fashioned with peychaud.
Oh,
bitters.
you got a Sazerac versus...
Sazerac and a lemon drop.
Give me that lemon drop.
Yeah.
I like a lemon drop, man.
Okay, and then mojito and a whiskey sour.
A mojito's great. I'll take a mojito. Whiskey sour is too, but a mojito is really good, especially when it's done right.
All right,
I like to make them too.
old fashioned espresso martini. I think we're going old fashioned on this one. I think old fashioned's got to run it, right?
Yeah, but an espresso martini does sound nice. And so an honorable mention.
Yeah, I love a good espresso martini, and like you said, I think that just a little kick of caffeine with alcohol, I think it's man, that's one of those. It's a good combination until it's not, because if you have 3 espresso martinis, you're fucked up, and you're also like jacked, you're wired, you know. So I've definitely had.
You have too much to drink, the spins set in, but you can't go to sleep.
I've had it more so with vodka and Red Bull. You know?
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
No, an espresso martini sounds nice, but an old fashioned will still. It's my
an
standard
old-fashioned.
go-to cocktail, honestly. It's probably going to win.
yeah, I don't think it's going to be a lemon drop or a mojito. But you'd probably go lemon drop, right?
Oh, that's what's next?
Yeah.
A lemon drop versus a mojito. No, I think I'll take a mojito.
I think I would go mojito too.
I like it. I like fresh mint. It's fresh mint in a mojito, right?
Yeah, fresh
for
mint,
sure.
rum. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds great.
I think old fashioned runs it then.
Is it an old fashioned versus a mojito?
Yes.
Those are the top two. What did I say might be the top two?
Margarita.
I think a mojito and an old fashioned is the top two. That's an accurate top two.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd probably,
Mojitos, I don't order them very often because honestly, both of those cocktails, it's scary to order because they could be done wrong. And it's a waste of money.
yeah, I mean, it irks me when I order an old fashioned and they like muddle the shit out of the fucking cherry and
Put
the
a fucking orange in there. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
A whole orange. To me, an old fashioned
Yeah.
should be an orange peel espressed into the cocktail.
Expressed. That's the last step, though.
Yeah, but I'm saying that rather than like an orange chunk, you
Yeah.
know. Hopefully a nice cherry, you know. I guess any cherry would do, but
It's like a Luxardo.
Yeah, I go for a Luxardo or a Bordeaux.
I don't think
or
it's
something.
supposed to be there, though.
What do you mean?
I don't think it's supposed to be there.
You don't think a cherry is supposed to be in there?
I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
I don't know. To me, an old fashioned needs a cherry,
But I'll take it.
Well,
But if you
I
throw
think you might
3
be right.
maraschinos and a fucking old bar orange wedge in there that's supposed to go to an Oberon and you start muddling, I'm out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people love that. People think that's an old fashioned. And
No.
some people love to, they'll order that and they're like, hell yeah.
To me, that's just, I mean, an old fashioned is basically bourbon with like a couple accentuants, you know?
Yeah. I don't do the even when I'm at home, I don't use the sugar cube because I don't have them. I think I bought sugar cubes one time and I went that route, so I would just use a small splash of simple syrup. So if I'm making it at home, I would do a little bit of simple syrup, some bitters. I like to pick different bitters because the bitters kind of like has a lot of character too. I don't like to just go with
you
the
can get
standard.
I like the barrel aged bitters, you know, that's a good choice.
I don't know I've got some different bitters here that's like really piney and it's really cool. It almost tastes seasonal.
Yeah. I think that obviously Angostura is,
That's the standard.
yeah. But yeah, I know I'm with you that, why not mix it up with the bitters, you know, try a little something different.
Yeah. I think that some would say that, you do your sugar or syrup and then your your spirits and then your cube. And then you can mix that, but you're not supposed to mix the bitter, and you're supposed to like put the bitter on top of your ice cube and just like let it sit there. Somebody told me that once. I don't know if it's true, but either way, they took it seriously. And I think if you're putting some love into it, then that's awesome. I'll give it a shot. And then express your orange peel. And I think some would even like ignite it a little bit, go crazy.
I've seen that. Use a torch or something. Yeah.
And from there, maybe like you could do like a smoked glass. I would be interested in.
That's a good call.
Yeah. You don't have to, but I think then we're still in a good old fashioned at that point. And, you know, something, this might disqualify it from being an old fashioned, but what's that tequila that's like really smoky?
A mezcal?
Yeah. Like a mezcal based,
Like a mezcal
old fashioned concept drink. Like,
that might be a whole different cocktail, honestly.
yeah, maybe it is.
But, or it's just a mezcal old fashioned.
I want to say that
Yeah.
there's a spot over here that calls it an old fashioned, and it's really good. But they use mezcal because they're kind of focused on tequila.
Yeah.
Their focus.
I hate mezcal.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'm
not into it.
I like it.
I think it's one of those, it's very polarizing.
Huh.
I'm on the hate end of the spectrum.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Don't ever mention mezcal to me.
I thought everybody loved it, dude. I thought it was like, I don't know, the Harlem Globetrotters. Like, how could you be upset about the Harlem Globetrotters or mezcal?
No, definitely not for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well,
So, we've decided, what are we calling this? The chopping block.
chopping block.
Old fashioned took the cake. Top cocktail.
I want to take this time to remind you to like if you like the video or podcast. Comment if you got something to say, because we want to hear it.
You got something to say?
Got something to say it. And subscribe if you love getting laid, because that's what happens to all of our subscribers. They all get laid all the time.
Yeah.
You might meet the love of your life at the We Feed Them Con, which is coming in a couple of years, probably.
We're supposed to know about that.
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
We'll get there.
I spoiled it.
It'll be a food show podcast con.
Extraordinaire.
Con? What is that short for?
Convention.
Convention.
Convict.
Yeah.
Convict music.
We'll have Akon there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know he's in jail?
He won't be. We're
Not by the time we come up with this shit in 10 years.
Yeah, I heard he was doing some sketchy shit.
Yeah. They won't let him out.
Yeah. Locked up. Okay.
Drugs.
Drugs.
Yeah, that was going to be the topic. Drugs are very prevalent in the restaurant industry, it seems. I know I have quite a few people at work that I could tell are high, or they're just kind of stepping outside smoking weed. I think weed is the biggest, like, it seems to be that 80% of restaurant workers either smoke weed or they used to be potheads, you know. Or,
I don't know if it's more prevalent than the general population. I don't know.
think?
I don't know.
well, yeah, I guess because we've spent our entire lives in
Yeah.
this industry, so maybe it just seems very normalized to us. I don't know. I guess tell us in the comments if you work at a white collar 9-to-5 job, if everybody's getting high.
Yeah, it does seem less likely when you say it like that. It's very prevalent. Weed is like, you are in the minority if you're not smoking weed at a restaurant.
Yeah, it was
Maybe not like at work, but I mean, if you're not if you're not a smoker, if you're not a toker.
Yeah, and I've never really been one to be high at work. I know a lot of people, I mean, some people swear it makes them better. I think some people, maybe it does. It just helps them focus. And I think there are a lot of positive mental health aspects to weed, but it could also be because I'm a stoner. So maybe I just tell myself that.
Yeah.
But it seems to be that.
It's dangerous to not advocate for weed, given like who we are.
Oh,
I think.
I did want to mention this because, I mean, on the day of recording, not to pull the veil back too much, but this is recorded in advance. Donald Trump executive ordered to criminalize, or no, he didn't decriminalize. He rescheduled marijuana today.
Well, I didn't know that. This is the first time I heard that.
So it's a Schedule 3 now, where, I mean, it probably should be.
That's good.
I
think.
I will say this. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people, some people will say that weed shouldn't be considered a drug, and I don't believe that. I think weed is definitely a drug.
I listened to his little, like, suck my wiener speech today, and I didn't hear him say anything about it.
He said, suck my wiener?
Doesn't he always?
Yeah.
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 I don't remember him saying anything about it.
You don't remember coming out with a big fat fucking blunt? He
No.
was like,
But does that mean that they can tax it? Or is that true? Are you sure about that?
fairly certain.
I feel like he would have said that in that speech.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that today there was an executive order. I mean, executive order marijuana is what I'm Googling. Yeah, so ABC News. This is actually, so Trump expected to sign order reclassifying marijuana. That was 7 hours ago. So I guess it hasn't happened yet, but they're saying it's supposed to happen tomorrow.
Oh.
Would reschedule to a lower classification from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3. So Schedule 1 is heroin, LSD, ecstasy, and marijuana currently. Schedule 3 includes Tylenol with codeine, testosterone, anabolic steroids, and ketamine.
Well, as we know, Tylenol is obviously.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, Tylenol with codeine, I think, is still like a prescription. It seems to be if marijuana goes to a Schedule 3 that it's essentially going to be legal. I mean, it's legal in enough states. At this point, where we're at, we're right at the border. For those who don't know, we're right at the border of Michigan and Indiana. We live in Indiana.
Yeah, we're in the South Bend area.
It feels legal around here. Like, people just pretty openly smoke weed. And
I definitely don't feel nervous when I drive around with weed in my car.
right.
And not that I would.
And I don't...
Would never do that.
It doesn't seem that police are necessarily looking for weed.
Yeah.
But it seems more that if you're already in trouble and you have weed, then they're going to use that against you.
Yeah, or the smell will be their reason to search the car.
I recently had somebody work with me that he was high all the time, and he shouldn't have been. I can tell you that. It's pretty obvious because, I mean, you can tell a lot of times when people are high, and like I said, sometimes they're just focused and they're in go mode, or it makes them more personable, and you're like, hey, this might be good for you.
Yeah.
And other times people are high and they're just staring at the wall or what.
Yeah.
You know, they're like just standing on the line eating a cheeseburger looking stupid, and you're like, man, this is a problem for this guy. But
I think that dosing people's drug uses has been a bizarre part of managing in a restaurant.
yeah,
Not dosing it, but, well, a little bit of understanding because it might seem weird, but, like, sometimes you suspect that there's drug use happening with one of your workers, and there could be some really high stakes moments where, let's say, like, you suspect that it's not marijuana, but it's something
Right.
that's an upper.
yeah,
I guess if you're listening and you don't know the drug culture very much, in general, you have uppers and downers, and uppers are caffeine and downers are alcohol, I would say. You know, like, downers slow you down, get you kind of chilling, whatever, maybe not quite grounded, where uppers would be like go, your
yeah.
caffeine.
Meth, coke, that type of thing.
Yeah. The pharmaceuticals, you know, in your uppers, you'd be looking at like Adderall. Your downers, you'd be looking at like Vicodin or something. And then you have hallucinogens. And I've never had an issue with hallucinogens in a kitchen. I've never had somebody come in and be like, these snozberries taste like, you're like, what the fuck, dude? These are steaks, you know? Like, I've never had that. So it's usually uppers or downers. And I can say that for me, and as a manager in high stakes moments, there has been moments where you might suspect that somebody has a drug issue and it's an upper and they're slouching and you like really fucking need them to step up. And I can't think of a specific, but I can think, like, I know that it's happened where I may have said, I don't know what's going on, but if you need to step out for a second and come back, then do that, because I really need you right now. And I don't really know what that means, and I really don't want to investigate it, and maybe that's something for a later conversation. But if you are acting like this now and you go out and you come back all energized, like, that's great. I got what I need from you. And
Yeah.
I don't know. That could be effed up.
I mean, maybe it is, but also,
It's kind of
what
the
else?
reality.
What else do you do? Send them to rehab or something? Like, what can you really do as an employer?
If you suspect, then you investigate, and then you have rules that you abide by, and if they're using narcotics on the job, then they got to go. But it's very prevalent, and that's really tough to do. It's very prevalent.
Yeah, but I'm saying, obviously by the book, that's what you do. But what if this person is your best bartender, or like, I don't know, just somebody that's a cornerstone of your establishment, and also somebody that you like a lot as a person? I guess you can have a private conversation with them and be like, hey, I think you should get some help because stuff is not good for you. And
Yeah.
really, ultimately, whatever benefit that is providing to them, it's far outweighed by the negatives. So,
Yeah, it's handled on an individual basis. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm really lenient with weed. I mean, I sell this product.
I sell
which
weed.
has THC in it. Like, I'm pretty lenient with alcohol and THC, and it's not like come in and get drunk all day. I feel like that could be dangerous. As far as weed goes, I don't know. Like, if it's disguised and if I smell it, but I'm not seeing any major issues, then I might mention, hey, it really smells like weed in here, and just kind of leave it at that and let them understand that they should cover it up a little bit better.
yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, you're fucking stoned.
Yeah.
And this is not, if you go out and take a hit, when you take out the trash and you come back and I notice you're a little bit happier and everything's cool, like, I'm really not too worried about it. I haven't put too much stress on that, but there are moments with that same type of person where I'm like, oh, we got a late rush and I feel like I can't leave. Like, you look blitzed, or you just made a few mistakes. You dropped 3 of the appetizers and we have 2 of them hanging, or you just put sauce on it, says sauce on the side, and we all make those mistakes, but like, they keep rolling and you're like, dude, are you too high? Come on.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that you bring up an interesting point there, in that, well, there's, to me, for weed, there's different rules for different people, and that seems very unfair, and I think it kind of is. But
Yeah.
if you were to say all or nothing, you either, if you get caught smoking weed here, then you're fired. You might end up losing a lot of good people that it's not an issue for. But you said, if the dishwasher hits a vape pen when he's taking the trash out and he comes back in and he mops the floor while he's high, who fucking cares, versus, I don't know, the host just came in for her shift and she obviously just smoked a whole blunt in the car by herself.
Those people are ballsy. I don't know how they do that, dude.
Yeah.
Because there are definitely a lot of those employees.
It's wild to me that people even still smoke bud like that, just kind of like hotboxing their cars and shit. Like, it's 2025 and we have all these other different discrete means to consume marijuana, and they're
but there's less reason to be discretionary,
right,
as it becomes closer to legal,
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know. I drink at work sometimes. Like I said earlier in this episode, it's having a really stressful day, and I've drank in the kitchen a lot. Not today, but I mean, my whole career, I've always just had a beer on the line, and I really probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I used to work at a brewery, and the beer was flowing like water from a spring, basically.
To the kitchen?
I mean, everybody,
Yeah.
I was bartending there, but it was free. it was basically unlimited beer.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
I felt like that in multiple moments of my career.
yeah, and it ended up being to the point where a couple people seemed like they were there for the unlimited beer. You know, just
Yeah.
alcoholics that otherwise would probably have quit that job. They're like, well, I get to drink 5 beers while I'm here. So,
Yeah.
and the GM, I mean, I'm not going to talk bad about anybody, but he seemed to have a bit of an issue with alcohol. I'll say that, because he was pouring himself like double margs every day, and you know, it like was constantly taking shots with everybody and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it is part of the culture.
It is.
You know?
A lot of times your customers are offended if you don't have a drink with them.
Yeah. I mean, shift shots and,
Yeah.
you know, shift drinks. I don't think there's anything wrong with that necessarily, but I think there is also a line that,
Yeah.
especially as an employer or a GM or something, I think that's, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to badmouth him or anything, but
I think that I will drink. I don't know. I close. Pretty much, I'm drinking. If I'm closing, I'm gonna have a beer, and sometimes that turns to 3 beers. But that's probably about where I'm at. Like, it's usually 1. It's not surprising if it's 2, 3. Like, okay, dude, you drinking tonight? You know, like,
yeah.
because I'm drinking like an IPA in a pint glass, so 3 pints of IPA. You know, you could be,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
like a 6-7%er.
At my current tolerance level, that would have me relatively drunk. Like, but I will say this: no matter what, I would rather have a stoned person at work than a drunk person.
Yeah, it does seem there does seem to be, well, yeah. hmm It seems like people who are drunk are less predictable. I will smoke weed sometimes, and I will feel like I'm closing the kitchen better. I don't even know if that's true, but I will feel like I'm closing the kitchen better. Like I'm really going at it. But I like to take a couple hits of weed at home before I clean too.
I was gonna say, I feel like you mentioned something to me before or recently where you were like, I feel like smoking weed makes me almost more responsible. You know, I'm cleaning the sink after I'm done washing the dishes, and you know.
Yeah, I don't like to get high necessarily. I know that sounds weird because I'm smoking weed, but I'm not smoking weed to get high. I feel like it's an adjustment, and I'm not like smoking a joint. I'm just taking a hit or 2 hits, and sometimes I'll be like, got a little silly. I'm feeling a little silly, but usually I'm just like, oh, I've been cleaning this table for like 5 minutes, or I need to stop brushing my teeth now. You know what? I think I'll take another shower. Like I get a little bit of that going. It's almost like ADD or something. OCD is happening.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I do feel as if weed has medicinal purposes, and like, I don't know. I think that there's a lot of that in my life is just adjusting. I mean, with the amount of weed that I smoke, to me, high is just, I don't know. It's like a slightly different mind state, but it's not, I don't know. I don't ever get to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm so fucking blitzed off of weed that I can't think straight. You know?
And those moments might be private at home. It's not going to happen with the rest for someone like you.
No, I mean, not at all at work. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I've smoked weed at work maybe twice. Or I've been high at work maybe twice, and I don't like the feeling of it. And
That's surprising.
Why is that?
I don't know. I feel like you smoke more than me, but I've been high at work like hundreds of times.
Yeah, I mean, it probably was more than twice. Now that I'm thinking back on it, I mean, there was a handful of times, like I remember smoking blunts out back at Long John Silver's and shit. Like,
there we go.
Yeah, but
now you're the host that you were talking about, hotboxing a car.
Oh yeah, that's exactly. Well, I mean, that was back in the day. That was before anything, you know, any sort of legality. But
well, there's definitely a deeper drug issue than that. I mean, I worked in a kitchen in Elkhart where it felt like a majority of the staff was on drugs that were kind of new to me, because my first couple kitchens was just alcohol and weed, and Well, no, that's not true because one of the guys was on some shit that I did not understand, but he definitely seemed like he was on another level, and there was some weird stuff going on with his behavior, and I really don't know what it was to this day, but I know that he ended up in rehab.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But
then there was this place in Elkhart where I worked, and I mean, I remember we would be busy, and we would be already losing steam, and the guy selling drugs in the kitchen would like pull a bag of ass pocket and just like pass it around, and everybody would take half a pill, and maybe the one guy that was straight edge would be like, no, I'm good, but he still would clearly see us all, and me included, take 30 milligrams and then just keep rolling. And while that doesn't seem that dramatic, that might have been the fourth time that day that happened. And then like during smoke breaks, a couple of those guys would go out and level out with like it used to be called this thing called Roxy's that were really popular. And I really don't know what Roxy's were because I think I took them, but I don't really understand. I don't know if it was just like a knockoff or just like oxy.
yeah. If I remember,
there was a lot of pills flying around that restaurant.
if I remember correctly, that's what it was. But I don't.
That was
I
that was the
remember
first time
Roxy's.
I ever did in that restaurant, and we had a huge issue. Man, I remember the guy that was doing the orders in that kitchen, who has passed away from overdosing since then.
Rest in peace. Was he the one that came over?
Yeah,
Yeah. He was a good guy, man. I mean, I only met him that once.
He taught me a lot, but yeah, he passed away. I'm almost certain. The only person who called me about it was not his family, and that person said that he overdosed. I really don't know, I guess, what the final was, but
yeah,
it makes sense. I mean, the guy was really, really on some shit. But he would order the little whip. I don't know if I should teach people how to do it.
Well, you just did.
I might have to blur that out or something.
Hey, yeah, I do want to add a disclaimer. We don't recommend any of this.
Yeah.
So,
we would go out to the car with these little whipping, and then we had this device, and I can't explain how you'd get to it, but you could do whip these with this material that you have.
Yeah.
And the first time I ever did it was at a restaurant on the clock. And we did it like 2 or 3 times in a row. And there was 3 of us sitting in the car, just ripping. And I remember one of the bartenders came out and was like, "You guys doing whip?" Like, yeah. And he was like, "Hell yeah." And I mean, there was like a really weird drug culture going on there.
I can understand how straight and it's almost like hair, like it just numbs you and kind of makes you think nothing, which I think that some people, I think a lot of people who are into drugs are kind of searching for that. I feel as if a lot of us have a lot of noise going on in the mind, and we're looking for a way to shut that up.
Yeah.
Be it alcohol, weed, or pills, or whatever it is that we're doing, And I heard that Kanye West got heavy into nitrous, and I think that's part of what sent him to the spot that he's at.
Whatever is going on there.
Yeah.
Well, that kitchen was the most drug heavy kitchen I worked in. And I mean, it was like, I thought it was the culture of the city. I mean, I was like, what the fuck is going on here, dude? Because, I mean, they were smoking, even just the way they were smoking weed was different in that kitchen, Like I remember
just like right under the hoods.
Yeah, like my first couple nights, I was like, "Oh yeah, I moved here from a place called Watervliet, and I'm happy to be here. And what's your name? Oh, Doug. Cool, good to meet you. Well, I'm gonna head out, and thanks for teaching me how to close tonight." And he'd be like, "You want to smoke a joint?" And I'd go, "Well, that's not too unusual. That's kind of what happens when you leave a restaurant." And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I do." And we'd pull out like the biggest joint I ever saw with like rolled silverware, and we would stand at right where we were smoking cigarettes, just smoking a joint. And I was like, "Where's the boss, dude?" And he was like, "What?" "Hey, boss, here, you want some?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't experience that before," because the 2 places I worked at before, the first one, there really wasn't a drug culture besides a little smoking weed that people would talk about, but you didn't see it. And the second one, you would maybe during smoke breaks, you would catch a little, like you would catch a blunt getting passed around, but nothing wild. But this one was like, dude,
Blatant.
everybody was high, and it wasn't just, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The way they were smoking weed and the pills that were being passed around, and I mean, who knows what else that I didn't even experience. And you know, some of the employees were kind of under question for their behavior and their level of intoxication, and understandably so. And yeah, it was pretty wild. And to be honest, some of those people from that kitchen, 2 of them have passed away. One of them was from an overdose. The other one I don't know, but rest in peace to him as well. And another one, last I saw, was being charged with like manslaughter or murder because of a drunk driving incident.
What?
And then another one of them, the last time I saw them, I saw them in a bar. I had asked how they had been, and if I remember correctly, they had shared that they had just gotten out of prison. I didn't really ask why, but this person had an obvious addictions issue. And so I have a lot of weird feelings about that kitchen because I was so deep in that culture with those guys, and where some of them are now and where I am now. And it's just, I don't know.
I was gonna say, it's kind of interesting that you kind of ended up on the other side of the fence, you know?
And not everybody there was like that, to be clear. You know, not everybody there went down a super bad path. Some of them.
Yeah. And
but I would say, like, that's one of the guys I'm thinking of that I think is doing pretty well right now. Also was the first to teach me how to like carve out a potato and smoke some weed out of it, you know. And we got high there at work a few times, and
that's great.
yeah.
But yeah,
Not that you can do that.
I was a little worried about you at that moment. I think we both had moments where we were worried about each other over our alcohol and drug intake, you know.
Yeah.
But I specifically remember that moment. Yeah, you'd shed a lot of weight. Do you mind talking about this, or?
No, not too much, I don't think.
Okay. Well, yeah. It seemed like you were kind of a little excessive on Adderall at a point, and well, luckily you were smart enough to realize that, and you had the willpower to change that behavior, you know. But
Yeah, I had a friend that kind of gave me like an ultimatum, and it was important to that person the way they confronted me. And I don't want to like share the quantities of how much, because I don't want someone to like get an idea of what a human can take in, I guess. But
yeah,
when I do share the quantities of what I was taking with people, they seem pretty alarmed. And looking back, I think it was pretty alarming, because it wasn't just, I wasn't prescribed it, first of all. So it wasn't just that I was taking it, but it was in quite excess. And I remember even moments where I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would have the sweats and shakes and I couldn't sleep, and I would have to take an Adderall just to get back to sleep, which is pretty wild because an Adderall is an upper, it's amphetamine salts. And it's basically a doctor's methamphetamine, pretty much, as I understand, you know, like the components of it. But when I did quit it, I cold turkeyed it, and I had probably like a 48-hour, I mean, I was puking, I was vomiting a lot, I was sweating and shaking, and I had a fever, and it took like a good 48 hours to get that out. And I actually remember during that, I think it was the second day, I called off of work. And actually that kitchen, that was the kitchen with this drug culture that I'm speaking on. It was not unusual for a cook to call off work because they were detoxing. And like sometimes it was cool. They would act like the guy would come back to work, and you would, you know, we kind of knew each other's habits, and you would know that their supply ran out and that they would call off right away because they were detoxing, more than likely. And it ended up happening to me, and I couldn't believe it because I was calling off work, and I'm not somebody who calls off work, because I had a fever and shakes and vomiting because I was detoxing on a drug that I had taken way too much of, a pharmaceutical. And I think the second day, one of the bosses called me, and I didn't tell him why. I just told him I was sick. Well, it was true. I was sick. I was vomiting. You know, shouldn't be in the kitchen. And he was like, "We really need you here." And I was like, "Dang." Anyways, he convinced me, and I went in under these conditions: fever, shakes, sweats, nausea. I wasn't vomiting anymore. And I cut my finger. I remember this. I told you about this time where I cut my finger and I had to like tie it off and put a bunch of gloves on, and I was holding it over my head. And we were doing like, I don't know, we did like an $8,000 night or something with 3 or 4 cooks. And that's why they needed me there. And I was doing the garnish station with like this bleeding finger in a glove. I had to hold it like this so the blood wouldn't run down my arm, but I was holding it over my head because I think that slows down the bleeding.
Yeah.
But I think that, that cut happened because of the condition that I was in. And I worked through that shift, and I didn't close. I was just like, I shouldn't even came in, dude. This is crazy.
Right.
But it was really my own fucking fault that I was in that position.
Yeah.
And I've taken an Adderall one time since then, and I felt I did not enjoy it. But it was years later. Somebody was like, I got an Adderall. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. Let me see what that's about. It's been a while.
I used to have a lot of partying days back in my 20s and experimented a lot, putting shit up my nose and all sorts of stuff. And at this point, I've more or less realized that weed is all you need. I think that...
Preach. All you need is water, really.
Well, yeah, in life in general, but we're talking about drugs here.
Yeah, I know.
I think even over alcohol, I don't think I need alcohol at this point. And
dude, I remember during that time, we had a friend that was selling in lump sums.
Yeah.
And I bought like a big sack of one of the downers from him. It was
yeah.
And he was selling it way cheaper than I knew the guys were buying it in Elkhart, and I was gonna just go sell them. And I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but I was like, well, I don't know what this shit even feels like. And so I took a couple, and I think I took the rest of that bag, and like the rest of the week, I took all of those the rest of the week, and I've never taken them again since then.
Yeah.
But dude, those pills, these pharmaceuticals are so dialed in and dangerous, and this was way before fentanyl, at least the popularity of fentanyl.
Right.
And now I can't even imagine how dangerous experimenting with anything is.
Yeah, I don't
Even when it comes to weed, I think if you're not seeing where it's growing, if you don't, you know what, in general, if you're smoking weed, you should probably get it from a dispensary.
Yeah, I agree.
And because even weed can have an issue. Like I wouldn't go to a concert and trust a joint getting passed to me right now.
Right. Yeah.
Fentanyl is incredibly dangerous, and it's so prevalent. And there's some people that are taking it on purpose too.
It might not even be laced with fentanyl. It might just be anything, angel dust or just like some shit that you don't even know what the fuck you're hitting. And pharmaceuticals are just, I count myself lucky that I didn't have a good connect, because things could have went very south, especially for downers for me, because I just really like the feeling of, and especially mixed with alcohol, things can go south pretty quickly with that. So like I said, thank God that
it really is quick.
There was just certain instances where like I knew somebody that had some, or you're partying with people and they break out some pills and you just pop them. But yeah, like I said, I consider myself lucky that I kind of escaped that when I could, because at this point, I couldn't see myself really getting addicted to any new drug at this point. I'm just too old.
So I'll share a little bit of the feeling of my experience with some of those pain. I never really liked them that much. I tried them quite a few times recreationally, or I might have had like a medical procedure where I was prescribed it. One time I tried, and I think I just took 2. I don't remember. It was basically a prescribed dose. I wasn't prescribed, but it was basically like, I wasn't really doing it in excess. It was what you would take if you had extreme pain, I think. Like doctors recommended if you had extreme pain.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right terminology, but I think you know what I'm saying.
Right.
I wasn't. Yeah. I took 1 or 2, and I felt the effects of it, which were somewhat enjoyable for me in that moment. But when I came down, it was terrible. I felt so shitty off of this one. I think it was just one I was just trying to have a good afternoon, some dumb shit, dude, just being dumb. And I felt so shitty, like nausea, dizzy, just, oh, this is awful. And all I kept thinking was take another so you don't feel like this again. And that was just one.
Yeah.
And I remember then just thinking, this is how this shit goes.
Yeah.
This is how it goes.
Well, like you were saying with your detox story, I think a lot of people become junkies or remain junkies because they try to quit and they go through that and they don't have the willpower to get through it. They're just like, all right, I'm just gonna take half. You know, it's just gonna curb these feelings and then I'll wean myself off. And wean myself off is always like the death knell of anybody that's trying to get sober.
That goes for nicotine too. To me, cold turkey nicotine, I mean, everybody's different, but cold turkey stopping nicotine, I still have moments where I go back, but I haven't used nicotine in like months.
Yeah.
But I haven't smoked in years, really. Like I've bummed a cigarette from you here and there, but I went from a pack a day, sometimes more, to like bumming a cigarette once in a while, once every month or two.
Yeah.
I think cold turkey.
I've quit cigarettes a couple times in my life, successfully in the sense that I quit for over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was the same thing, cold turkey, and it really helps not being around people that are smoking.
Oh yeah.
You know, but yeah, I was living alone, fortunately, and yeah, just didn't have. It just comes down to a point of, are you gonna cave and buy a pack?
Yeah.
But as long as you don't cave and buy a pack for about a week, you're usually you're
if
past
the gas
the
station is your trigger, then if you stop, get a full tank of gas so you don't have to come back. You know,
Right. Yeah, and pay at the pump.
pay
Yeah.
the pump. Yeah. Don't do $10 because you're gonna be back here tomorrow.
Yeah, but I've just discovered I don't know, man, I just really like smoking. I like nicotine, and I like the feeling of smoking. I like stepping outside for a break, and I know it sucks. Like it's not any good for me, and I'm well aware of that, but I don't really see myself wanting to quit.
Yeah. Well, you have in the past.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, yeah.
I don't like smoking. I don't know. I cannot believe how much I used to smoke. I can't believe it. Because now if I bum a cigarette from somebody, I usually don't even want to finish it.
Yeah, there gets to points where I've had too many. And I mean, dude, at this point in my life, I smoke maybe, I would say 3 to 6 cigarettes a day. So I'm not on like a pack a day habit. I'll smoke like one during a 10-hour shift. I'll step outside for a smoke break once, and then I'll have a couple in the garage after work in the evening. But it seems to be very controlled. But yeah, I also get that feeling if I smoke too many in a day, sometimes I'll be halfway through my cigarette. I'm like, what the fuck am I even doing? Like, I don't even like the taste of this right now.
Throat's dried out, headaches setting in. That's what I started. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, the last time that I quit, it was more so because we were sitting outside chain smoking a lot. We were going to the bar and we were getting drunk and we would just sit there and chain smoke. And then I would keep myself up coughing, is how bad it was, to the point where, yeah, I had to quit. You know, I didn't really have a choice. It was either quit or don't get any sleep and like hate yourself. So I quit. But now that I'm back at it, that hasn't happened. But I'm also a lot more lenient. Well, I guess not lenient. I don't know what the word is for. I don't smoke as much. You know, so
A little more disciplined, I guess.
yeah, more discipline. There we go.
I think that if you are a smoker, it's probably the second time I brought this up in an episode because cigarettes are huge. Well, I think now it's probably vaping, but nicotine use is huge in America.
Yeah.
I think that most states have some sort of initiative to help you quit for free. So I know we're in Indiana, and I tried it. I really didn't have any success with it, but I sort of got the ball rolling, just admitting that it was time to quit, I guess. But they send, in Indiana, you could just Google it. I don't know what the number was, but they sent me free patches, and then they would call and check in every couple days or something, and I just started blocking their numbers, and I didn't use the patches, and I mean, it was silly, but I think that that exists probably in most states. So if you're thinking about quitting nicotine, just take a leap, whatever. Just get on the phone with somebody like that. If it's free, let them send you the product, and have somebody, even if it's a stranger, hold you accountable, and just see how it feels. And if you fail, that's okay. You could try again, I think.
But like you said, I think that cigarettes are kind of obviously out of fashion, but vaping scares me more than cigarettes do because I don't smoke in the house.
Yeah.
That's a strict rule of mine, and that really controls my smoking a lot. Vaping smells mostly odorless, or it smells good, tastes good. It tastes like fucking Cinnamon Toast Crunch or whatever. And you could sit inside and do it. So I feel like if I had a good vape, man, it'd be over for me. That's all I'd be doing, bro.
Dude, I've bought a Mr. Fogg before just on a whim, and I was supposed to be like 20,000 million puffs or something. And I would cash it out in a day, just sitting up playing PUBG or something. But then the whole next day, I would cough up sugary phlegm, which was like coming out of my lungs.
Yeah.
And then you're going to taste it, and it's sweet. I mean, it's clearly sugar. You know, it's a sweetener of sorts. And you're like, that shit's in my lungs?
I think especially those gas station vapes, you got to be really careful about, because I have no idea what the fuck they put in that shit.
Yeah.
But
watch our vape want to sponsor us, and then it'll go from this to cutting to like, wow, clouds.
Yeah. It'll literally be, I don't know what the fuck they're putting in that shit. And then it'll cut to an ad. It's just like, yeah, so we know what's going in this one.
Flavor. Are you wanting a clean vape? Yeah. Full shit.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I think that obviously nicotine's an issue, you know, but for me, it's everything in moderation. And I think that I do pretty well to moderate myself on things. But
I think that the drugs, I think that we could have multiple conversations on, because I can think of a million stories.
For sure.
But I will just say my final thoughts on drugs is that I find it confusing for myself on how to manage through known and suspected addictions with staff members, because I can relate to some of them, and some of that, like, you know, where do you draw the line? And I mean, I've had guys more than once literally just pass out in the kitchen, you know, and that's obviously way past the line. And
for sure, yeah, it's also tough for me, and I don't ever want to fire anybody over drugs. That seems to be the wrong way to handle, because obviously, to me, these people have legitimate issues that you need to help them through. And I almost question if you have somebody that you work with, that you care about, that you fire because they just are unreliable because of drug use. What's that going to do to their drug use? Obviously, they're not going to have the money to be able to support their habit.
it might be, I think it might be a wake-up call.
Yeah. It could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. It could make them use more. You know,
it could be.
So yeah, bottom line, if you're an addict, or you know somebody who's an addict, I would say seek help. I think that sobriety is definitely the way to be in life, for yourself and for the people that love you. I say that as somebody that smokes weed, and I admit that maybe I shouldn't smoke as much weed as I do, but
well, we're all on a journey.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know personally if I would say like hard stop sobriety is the best way, you know, because I just think that there's benefits to weed as the primary thing, where I feel like it has medicinal purposes, and then some of those pharmaceuticals that people have issues with they exist for reasons, and they're helpful to people who are prescribed by a doctor for reasons. So, and I don't know personally. I think that we're all on a journey to figure out how to feel right and act right, and I don't know, man. I don't know. It's such a confusing topic.
Yeah.
For me, I think for anybody. If there's a substance that's taking value from your life or other people's lives, there's a problem. And yeah, you got to address it.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Never let a substance rule your life. You should be the one ruling your life.